welcome. Tonight we do part two of 5 statements to avoid when comforting the grieving. Number 2, at least you had, or at least you have. Let me expand. Oh, well, at least you had, that extra time with them, or at least you had them in your life for XYZ, or at least you have other children. That is an all time favorite. Um, at least you have another parent. Do your best to not say that. Now, here's why. This is not the time to offer or to look for silver linings. It is not the time for comparisons. When you say to someone, at least you have, it makes it seem almost as though the loss isn't significant or in comparison to, and please try not to compare someone else's situation to theirs, especially in initial grief. It saying to someone, at least you had, at least you have, this is what remains, or you had this time, or you had that opportunity with that person, that thing, that place, it also does make them feel like, you know what, I should be grateful. So, in that moment, in that time of feeling lost and vulnerable and often very disoriented, big losses really affect your sense of self, your sense of who you are. So, in that time, to expect someone to be grateful or to look at the bright side or look at the silver lining, it again diminishes how they're feeling and makes them feel as though their emotions are inappropriate. One of the things that I learned firsthand with grief and grieving is there is a tremendous sense of guilt or a feeling that there is something in the situation you have to take ownership of. And these platitudes, these sayings that we really extend in the most loving and well intentioned ways, they really do minimize and isolate the very person that you're trying to help. So, this is why a phrase like, at least you have, enter whatever it is, whether it's you have these children, you had this relationship, you had whatever it is, or at least you had, are truly not helpful. It is not the time to offer comparisons. It is the time to offer compassion. And how do you do that? Okay, so it's wonderful for someone to say, hey, don't do this, don't do that. This is not a good way to do it. But what do you do? Remember, a lot of these things that we say automatically, very knee jerk, are reactive, and they really are from a place of great discomfort. We don't like to see the people that we care about in pain or in distress. So we often want it to stop. And if you really reflect on the things that we say, even in the most loving tones, oh, don't cry, you know, look at the bright side, do you still, those are things more to comfort us than to comfort them. If you were trying to make them behave and show up and appear in a certain way. And again, that is not where comfort lies. That is not where compassion lies. People will get to where they need to be in their own time. And one of the best things that you can do, the way to help, is to listen, to offer an ear, to offer empathy. And really, again, when stuck with nothing to say, you can say that. You can say, I don't know what to say. So, again, if there is anything else that you say, and after these talks, you realize that came out because they're very automatic. I now catch myself after a year of facilitating a grief circle and making a lot of friends that have faced loss because of the pivot of life, but still catch those phrases coming up. And it is really amazing how much things are ingrained to you, and they're just what you say. But we're going to think about our thinking. We are going to unlearn the negative and unlearn the things that impact us and make us hold back our feelings, because really the way to heal is to feel. And it just so happens to rhyme, but it is true. As we go through these, I'm not accusing us, the masses, as bad guys who say these horrible things to people, but we do say them rather thoughtlessly, or we say them, when I say thoughtlessly, without real thought behind how they land, because that's what everyone says. So we're on number 2 tonight, and that is at least you've had, or at least you have. And my number 1, and I think I am doing them in order of how much I really don't love them. Uh, Number 1 was be strong. So I would love your comments, your feedback. If you liked this, please share it. I will be back tomorrow and we will do number 3. And if you have suggestions, if you want to add to the list, I would love to hear what you've heard that you really didn't appreciate, um, or what you've said that now that you're reflecting, you're like, wow, that wasn't good. Because trust me, I have so many. So I also apologize to everybody that I've said something ridiculous to when they were facing a loss and truly didn't realize that's what I was doing. So that's it for me tonight. I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Tara. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one.